The chaos mod for FNAF Security Breach is insanely hard, and I decided to make it even harder with the challenge of FREDDY. Well, I didn't exactly have a choice. You see, I attempted to beat the mod before, but getting a save where you don't start in Freddy was such a nightmare, but the way I ended up doing it broke him. Freddy will not let me inside of him, leading me to decide to beat the rest of the game without using Freddy. Now, if you're wondering what ending I'm going for, it is the Princess Quest ending, because 1, I'm fairly confident the after ending requires Freddy, and 2, the Princess Quest is the true ending. Anyway, the rules of the challenge are pretty simple. 1, don't intentionally use Freddy. 2, try to avoid altering the mod from its current settings as much as possible. And 3, no intentionally deloading the map, unless provided by the mod. Okay, that last rule will make a lot more sense in a moment. But now with all that established, let's dive straight into it. Starting off, I am stuck in Rockstar Row, and normally to advance, one would hop in Freddy and go through these doors. Obviously, I can't do that, and with not exactly having much of an idea, my plan was to get into the main atrium. How exactly? Well, by utilizing useful events provided by the Chaos mod. While some of the events are outright annoying to absolutely painful, others are really useful. More specifically, pre-patch POV, Void Warp, as well as capitalism and free money. You see, pre-patch and Void Warp events both deload the map, and while the map is deloaded, I can move between walls and barriers. Then using money provided by the events capitalism and free money, I can save and will load where I saved, allowing me to get into areas I shouldn't be able to get into. So using this method and a lot of patience, I should be able to make it to the main atrium. Well, firstly I figured out I can wait under this gate for whatever reason the animatronics can't get me here, and eventually I got pre-patch POV and was able to make it through into the next area where there conveniently is a save station, and of course managed to save. Only to find another door blocking my way into the atrium. But it doesn't matter, as I managed to get lucky and get in there pretty quick and got Monty Golf event. Yes! Okay, real quick. 4 of the events can be either Chica's Feeding Frenzy, Monty Golf, Balloon Boy World, and Princess Quest. Exiting Balloon Boy World and Chica's Feeding Frenzy just take you to the main menu. However, both Monty Golf and Princess Quest make temporary saves when they happen, meaning when you exit them, you load back at where you was, making them useful, if you can save once being reloaded. And well, here I got to this little gate thingy right in front of a save station and died, and thus, back to more waiting. Anyway, eventually I managed to make it through again, but this time with money so I could buy a save. Now I loaded in the main atrium, except new problem, it's 11 PM, and at 11 PM there are barriers everywhere, and I can't get to the save station I wanted to. Though, remember that gate I died at earlier? Turns out it in fact can be opened, and so I managed to save there. And then got lucky with capitalism and managed to make my way to the other end of the atrium, where I then stood on this wall waiting to be able to get through these barriers, which I managed to do quite early, and got to the save station only to get Death Coin. Now if you don't know, Death Coin is most likely broken since it doesn't work, and there's no way to get out of it other than to forcefully close the game. Thus, back to waiting again.
I bet you don't even have. You can't. You can't.
Why TVA again? What? This is ridiculous. Oh, and they give me pre-patch POV now?
Nothing.
Doesn't matter because I'm dead. Oh, Void Warp. Yes.
Who wants candy?
Until eventually...
Come on out. We're only trying to help. Music Man!
I must warn you, when you enter an area where you do not have a locator,
Yes! With nowhere else to go, I decided to head down the vent, because... Got the Freddy Fizzy Faz upgrade and made a new save, got into the security office but died to TVA, or well, Moon. Got into the office again but had money, so I saved after the game gives you a security badge, which broke the save stations, so I had to load an older save, complete the pizza box section, which took a little bit, but not as long as I expected due to the fact that a lot of events that would have killed me to restart don't work while you're in pizza pop. Anyway, now I have to get out of here, which was the hard part because I only had security badge 1 and I needed 2, but that was enough for that day. Okay, Day 2 is when I came up with the theory that if I beat Princess Quest 1 and 2 provided by the Chaos Mod as an event and save, the game could recognise that I've already beaten them and allow me to play Princess Quest 3. So my plan was to get into Phaser Blaster, but first I need to escape this area, which... well, first of all, I managed to glitch through the walls and stay over top of these boxes, which was an accident, but was hella useful, as now all I need to do is get through this door, as there's an elevator behind it, which takes me to the main atrium, which, well, took a while and many failures, but eventually I managed to save in the elevator, which bugged the game out and caused me to be stuck in the elevator. But after a little bit, I got Absolute Chaos event, which basically was a huge load of events at once. One of them gave me money, which I then saved, and loaded in the wall of the main entrance. But I figured out I could jump back down into the area I once was and head to the elevator. After a few attempts, I managed to drop down and the map would load with me outside of the elevator, got in and then got up to the main atrium and saved in there. Obviously, I'm back where I started ages ago, just with a security badge and a Freddy Fizzy Faz. Also, down there I played Princess Quest 1 and Princess Quest 2, so my main focus is getting to Phaser Blaster. Because even if I'm wrong, I'll get a Phaser Blaster, another security badge, and an idea of how to get to Princess Quest 3. However, to get to Phaser Blaster, I would need a party pass, and the only way to get one would be from Chica's room, which requires us to go through the vent. So I'm going to need the screwdriver, which is in the room where you get taken to when Vanessa catches you. And since I've just come from Chica's area, when you get caught and didn't, there's no point going back there. But with this pre-patch method, I could probably just glitch into the room, right? So what would be the most logical and smart thing to do? Yup, go L-chips. Okay, at this point I didn't realise that and figured L-chips would be faster. In fact, it wasn't. In fact, it was a huge waste of time. Because firstly, I managed to get to the security office and start the event. And saved with money, which obviously broke the save stations. So I had to get back to the office again and survive in the office legit. Except the only reason I managed to do the pizza bar with the mod on is because the enemies can't kill the pizza bar, and a lot of the events that lead to instant failure didn't. However, while doing the security office, that is not the case. And I needed to survive for 4 minutes and manage the doors as well as the power, and by this point I barely survived 2 minutes before something kills me or an instant restart event happens. It's probably possible, but I knew there was a huge chance this wasn't going to work and I needed to get super lucky, so I'll admit, for this one section I turned the mod down. I turned the settings back to what it was once I was done, but guess what? I was right. Vanessa isn't showing up at the elevator, and that was a huge waste of time. Anyway, moving on to day 3, I realised pretty quickly I was stuck in the prize counter, and not even lying, it took me a good few hours and many failures later to get this to happen.
Where am I? Look at all this
Yes!
stuff.
Yes!
Freddy, are you there?
Yes! Okay, we are now in the room with the screwdriver and the time has changed to 2 AM, meaning the barriers in the atrium should be less, as well as the fact the game made an autosave here. So now we just need to get to Rockstar Row, which I can easily get to, but first I need to get into the main atrium, which surprisingly took a decent amount of time, but only really because of how long the elevator takes. But from the main atrium, I can easily get to Rockstar Row if I follow the main timeline at this point, which is to meet Freddy behind Roxy's Raceway and get the backstage pass, because all I have to do is run down a very long corridor. But eventually I got lucky with the infinite stamina event and was just able to just leg him. And you know what? I might as well grab the backstage pass while I'm at it. Anyway, I managed to head towards Freddy's room and save in there, but the door to this event shuts and requires badge level 4 and I'm level 2. So I'm back to doing what I was doing at the very beginning of the game in the last video, but eventually I got pre-patched and was able to get through the door, save, and fell victim to Death Coin again. Now, like I said, Death Coin is broken and thus requires one to force close the game, which I did, but I didn't realise OBS hadn't picked up the game capture, so it's just a black screen. And worst of all, whilst doing that, I got the party pass and saved using the shop menu and found out that getting a party pass activates a moon section. No. we're fucked. This is bad because if I don't go into a recharge station with Freddy, I'm going to die in a few minutes regardless of what I do. Now, I did try for a little bit to see if I could maybe glitch time backwards and get Moon to go away using Showtime, but I didn't have long enough, so I had 3 options. Number 1, continue with what I was doing and find a way to jump the time back before Moon game ends me, or number 2, just say screw it, forget Freyless and use Freddy, or 3, reload an older save. And obviously, I chose option 3. I mean, it's Freyless, I have to. This is also where I realised the game wasn't recording properly and fixed it, and then came up with a new idea. You see, there was a delay between getting the pass and the time updating with the Moon event happening. If I could save in between those events, I could save with the pass and load with it without the time being saved, which is what I tried to do, and it worked. Then I tried doing Showtime event, but died at the exact second I saved, which still worked. It saved my spot with the 3rd badge, but broke the save stations. Well, I then tried to make it to the main atrium, but I kept dying to Moon after a while and theorized that even though the time jump didn't happen, Moon still spawned and I probably should load an older save. But it doesn't matter since I got absolute chaos, which one of the events that happened deleted my save. And so I had to load the save right back behind Freddy's room without the party pass and just before Showtime event with badge level being 2 instead of 3. Oh, and by the way, it's day 4 now. Now at this point I decided, screw it, I'm going back to the main atrium. Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, I now have to do the exact same thing I did at the start of the video. What a waste of time. Anyway, after getting back into the main atrium, I discovered 2 things. Number 1, the barriers are set up for Showtime without actually being Showtime event, and number 2, I need a level 4 badge to get into Phaser Blaster and I'm on level 2, so that's not happening. However, if I sat at the midpoint of these stairs, the enemies would spawn behind me and get stuck on the barriers, unable to get me. And so once again, back to waiting for pre-patch event. But eventually, using Void Warp, I managed to get into Phaser Blaster and save. And you know what? While I was there, I decided I might as well grab the security badge and save. And then I tried to beat Phaser Blaster, but with the mod on, that wasn't happening. Though with the Phaser Blaster, I survived a lot longer until I got money to buy a save. And now I'm inside the Phaser Blaster arena and I'm close to the stairs that lead up to Vanny's room with Princess Quest 3 in them. So now I just need to wait for an event that will allow me to get to them. And I figured out I can wait at the top of this little ledge here as the animatronics can't get me, and when it gives the alert event, run to the stairs, which is what I did, and I managed to do it, but the little gate at the top of the stairs wouldn't open, and I had no money, so I couldn't save, and eventually, waiting there, begging for money, I got none, and got Chica's feeling frenzy. And thus, I'm back to waiting on the ledge, until this happened. And I'ma be honest, I'm not even sure what happened here, but this time I was blessed with money and was able to save, but then I was blessed again at the very first event after that, which was Void Warp, which allowed me to get onto the stairs and then go play golf, which gave me a mini save on the stairs, and when I got back I begged for money and died to music. Back to waiting again, but I managed to get Void Warp again and money, so I obviously saved, and now we just gotta find a way through this gate. Except, whilst faffing around and being bored waiting at the gate, I discovered you could just jump over the gate. But the door is shut, so now I need to wait and get through there. And eventually I got Destroy Target, which allowed me to destroy the door and get in. And I couldn't play Princess Quest 3. But I can still get the Vanny ending, but the mod still ran, so I died before the ending could finish. But it doesn't matter anyway, because I want the Princess Quest 3 ending, and I'm getting Princess Quest 3 ending, so it's time for me to finally go Princess Quest 1. Now, I know this might have seemed like a giant waste of time, but now I have the Phaser Blaster, 3 security badges, and I know how to get into Princess Quest 3. Except there is now a huge problem. I'm stuck in Phaser Blaster, and I tried a few ways out and nothing really worked, so I called it a day. Okay, I really underestimated how stuck I am in Phaser Blaster. I'm currently at the area where you get the golden Phaser Blaster, but there is no golden Phaser Blaster. I managed to get back into the area where it gives you the Phaser Blaster, but it wouldn't let me run back to the entrance of Phaser Blaster without dropping my Phaser Blaster. But it did let me go back into the arena of Phaser Blaster. So I tried to beat Phaser Blaster with the Chaos mod on, and well, obviously failed. So that was pointless, and I came up with another plan of just getting lucky and getting through the doors blocking my way out, which took ages because getting through the first door was a headache in itself, but the second door was also blocked, so I had to get through that as well. Anyway, managed to get back to the entrance of Fast Blaster and save because I got pre-patched POV event as one of the first events, but now that I'm back in the main bit, I can just use the elevator to get back into the atrium. Right? Well, no, because even though the elevator will take me there, there is still a barrier which won't let me leave because I don't have the party pass. But fair enough, because I figured out if I could sit on a monitor, the animatronics couldn't see me, and when pre-patch comes, just leg it to the main atrium. Which eventually worked as I had money to save and made it to the main atrium, and now I need to head to Roxy's beauty salon to play Princess Quest 1, but remember, the time is still right before showtime, so there are barriers preventing me from going to Roxy's area. So of course, time to use the plan I used to get into Fast Blaster, but this time to go behind me, not forwards, which took many fails, but eventually with capitalism giving me coins and Void Warp, I managed to save on the other side of the barriers. But now there is a new problem. I'm security level 3 and the doors to Roxy are security level 4, so I could go Monty Golf, or I could wait by the door and hope to be able to get in and save. Now, since I've wasted so much time going to other places, I figured it'd be better if I just stick with glitching into Roxy's beauty salon, which was harder than I expected, as since I was standing right outside of the door, when pre-patch happens, it would instantly pause the game and do the loading, which is bad because I can't run through the walls. Besides, at this point I was tired and decided to tackle it in the next day. Right off the bat, I got super lucky as it gave me pre-patch POV and money, as well as for some reason not instantly loading, which caused this to happen. Yes, I may not be in the beauty salon to get Princess Quest 1, but I'm now in Roxy's Raceway, which is good because I can grab the Staffbot head, as well as the West Arcade Pass, since I'll need both of them to get to Princess Quest 2, so my next plan was to just get that out of the way. Which first off I had to get to the first save station and save, then run to the head, grab it and run to the next save station and save, which was actually much easier because of the Phaser Blaster and the fact that I had 3 Fizzy Phasers at this point, and getting the West Arcade Pass was much harder because bad luck? Or is it because I would grab the pass and proceed to run all the way back round the way I came to the save station at the top of the stairs, instead of the one next to the carts, literally over there? But that doesn't matter because eventually I got the pass right after the event that gives money, so I can use that money to save, and now I have the pass. Now all I need to do is get back to the beauty salon. Now at first I tried to go the way I came in, but that didn't work. So instead I decided to go out the normal way of the raceway. I figured out if I could just sit here and get pre-patch, I'd be able to just leg it to the entrance of Roxy Raceway, which took ages to do, but eventually I managed to get to the other side of the gate and got capitalism so I could save there, and then got pre-patch POV and made it to the entrance, at which point I got lucky with Princess Quest, which gave me a mini save, where I then ran from the entrance to the save at the bottom of the stairs. And now that I'm saved outside of Roxy's Raceway, we can try once again to get into the beauty salon to get Princess Quest 1. Except this time, I had come up with a different plan. Instead of waiting at the gate, wait at the top of these wooden barrier post thingies, and when pre-patch POV shows up, run in the direction of the salon. And eventually, I got a Monty Golf save, and right after Void Warp, and I got the Princess Quest 1 and beat it. But when I loaded back, I got Balloon Boy World Event, which sent me to the main menu and reloaded my save. However, I believed it still saved to the save file, and so I made my way to the West Arcade to beat Princess Quest 2. But the Staffbot ticket guy was annoying and would take ages to let me into the elevator. Then I ended up saving in the elevator, which was a massive problem because the game wouldn't load, so I had to load an older save. And absolutely unsure and super annoyed, I paused the mod until I got back to the West Arcade and saved there because I had already technically made it, but the game wouldn't load. Be mad all you want. Anyway, continuing on towards Princess Quest 2 with the mod back on, unsure if it worked, I died. And then again, until eventually I managed to make it there where it worked. I could play Princess Quest 2 and obviously beat it. And then tried to save, but Roxy murked me and ran out of time for that recording day. Now day 7 started off with the first challenge of getting back down to the main atrium, but eventually I got lucky with Enderman Gregory. However, I can't use the same system to get back into Phaser Blaster because the barriers are no longer there, but instead I can use the same system I used to get into Roxy's beauty salon, except head towards Phaser Blaster, which took many failed attempts, but I managed to do it, and now I can run into the Phaser Blaster arena the normal way, save in there and use the exact same method to get back into Vanny's room, which eventually worked, until I got to the door and realised, I need to get through the door. But I kid you not, one of the first events I got was pre-patch POV, which I used to get into the room, and boom, I can play Princess Quest 3. We've done it! Yes! Stop it. Yes! Mod pause, I don't care. We did it. We've done it. God, yes! Finally! Okay, look, this took me 33 hours, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe, maybe like, and leave a comment. And yeah, in hindsight, this took so long because I wasted so much time. Like, all I needed to do was just go to Princess Quest 1, then Princess Quest 2, and then Princess Quest 3, and skip out all the other sections that I went to that I really didn't need to go to. But hey, you gotta learn somehow. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and if you like this video, then you might want to check out my previous video, which is also a video on the FNAF Security Breach Chaos mod, except that one is how I broke Freddy for the beginning of this video. But alas, see ya.